So
In
for those who just came in, our speaker for today is Miss Sherlynkim. So
Hi.
she's a mom of three, an entrepreneur in Seoul, Korea, an author too, handling like a pro, and she's also an etiquette communist at the Korea Times.
Thank you
Hello,
for.
Sheila. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Well,
I'm just sharing it so that we can reach. Okay, for those who are here, maybe we can ask them to write on the comment section how many children do they have and something like that, so that we could, before we start, we'll start in 2 minutes.
okay. And if you have questions, you can post it in your comments.
Yeah.
So we hopefully can answer later.
Okay, I just posted it in my mom's group so that.
Oh, sure. How you can share it while we're on live?
Yeah, but I'm using my phone to share it because I couldn't see.
I copied you. I also did
Okay,
it.
good afternoon, Miss Chang.
Hello,
One,
Miss
Miss
Leila.
Stacy.
How are
Hello, Miss
you?
Stacy. She has 5-year-old.
Yes.
My
And
my three girls are in high school. The second one will be in third grade, and my youngest will be in the first grade.
wow, I
Yeah.
have a high schooler already. For me, I have four kids. I have a 13, 9, 8, and 2-year-old.
Oh, anyway, good luck to us.
Hello,
Okay, hello to Mom. How do you say it? Mom Kathleya?
Leia.
Kathleya?
Leia.
Yeah, she has two kids, 13 and 4. Mine is 17, 9, and 7.
Galing. Kulang pa isa. One more.
So yeah, when we reach 20, maybe we could start.
Okay. So we're reading
Hello,
story.
everyone. So I'm streaming from Seoul. And how are you guys?
So is it cold there right now or no?
No, it's getting warm.
Ah, okay.
We're kind of sad because the stream just passed by. We weren't able to
Oh,
enjoy the
as,
flowers, the
oo.
spring, but it's fine.
The owner of Menti Assorbenti just joined in. She's Miss Michelle Olgasan. That's
Oh,
her.
hi.
Hi. It's another Montessori school.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I think it's okay for us to start. It's time. It's about time. Okay, so again, hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to our live. It's about building self-esteem in your children. Thank you so much, Teacher Kristine, for that wonderful introduction. Anyway, yeah, because many of the challenges that plague our children nowadays are the result of their low self-esteem, early pregnancy, bullying, fighting, depression, and many others. And sometimes it also lead to, suicide, sadly. And I guess it's just right for parents like me to be aware on the position of our children when it comes to their self-esteem, because later on, when you are going to develop, or when you are about to to see the development stage of your children when it comes to their self-confidence, it will still run back to their to your assessment on how their self-esteem is, because you can easily go on developing the social confidence of your children if you know exactly, the position, the status on how your child is doing when it comes to their self-esteem. So that's why it is very important. Would you agree, Teacher Kristine?
Yes, super. Kasi a lot of kids, especially in my daughter's age, my eldest is 13, and one issues that they have in school is bullying.
Yes.
As compared to before during my time, bullying
Mm-hmm.
is somehow hidden. But
Yeah.
now kasi because of social media, uh,
Yes.
it's widespread, and then it can really affect the child.
Yes, and sadly, sometimes it leads to, when the child can handle it very well, sometimes it leads to the worst case that we don't want to happen, like suicide and the like. So it's especially here in Korea, it's hard for children here to manage their emotions so well. So most of them are engaged with that kind of thing. So we're very careful of this matter as well. Okay, so before starting our point, our first slide, I would like to um, ask, or because many of the parents maybe are confused of the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence, because sometimes I myself, before, I was too confused about it. What's the difference between the two? So again, self-esteem is about how you deal about yourself alone, and self-confidence is about your abilities, and it may vary from one situation to situation. So it is the thing, as what I've said earlier, it's hard to develop self-confidence if your self-esteem is low. So that's why it's very important for kids. Anyhow, okay, so again, welcome. And again, this live is not for you if you have perfect kid and confident kids. So precisely, this is for those parents who are struggling with the behavior of their kids, or want to improve their children, or they want to learn more about managing their children's behavior. Okay, so the first one is draw attention to your child's strengths. So this is very basic. So if you know exactly that your child or your children is doing good at something, let them know that you notice what they're doing. Let them know that you are aware of their achievements or their performance at school, whether they are good in, subjects or academically, or they're good in playing sports, playing musical instrument. It's a big thing for them to know that their parents know what are they doing, that you guys notice that they are exerting much effort to that special thing, because it might be a simple thing for us, but for them it's a big thing already. So draw attention to your child's strength. I remember um, my child performing on stage, and I was working then, and then she was so upset when she thought that I couldn't make it, because I told her maybe mom cannot do it because I have work and the like. It's very important thing, and she was so upset while playing on the stage, and I was so grateful I was able to do it before she finished playing. So please try to draw attention to your child's strength, because it really helps. Okay, question about that. Do you want to add on, Teacher Kristine?
With the child strength, like ako as a parent, usually with my eldest, I'm so sorry with my eldest because she's my guinea pig. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I am very guilty with this because I would always look at her
Yeah.
weakness. rather than the strengths. And I have to relearn on how to do it. And it took me a while, a lot of practice and a lot of reflection with that.
And sometimes it's not easy, especially if you're, pressured of everything around you, work, house, running the household, and everything else. Sometimes you're gonna be challenged also, but and and I think we just need to be focused
Mm.
on this matter. Okay, so if that's the case, let's move on to the second one. Teach your child how to deal with failure. I guess this is so important because not every child is prepared on this. It stick on my mind because when I was a child, no, when I was in elementary school, I joined a competition like declamation contest. I was in second grade. I prepared so much for it, and I expected so much. um my mom might get angry with me, mad at me. So I wasn't trained how to accept failure. So I had this loose hope that because I prepared so well, I practiced a lot, that I can win in the competition. I have that false hope, and I wasn't trained on how to deal with failures as early as that stage. So I have disappointment. When during the competition, I was crying because I wasn't chosen to be on the top three winners. So it's always important for our children, for us to train our children to accept failure. So you can explain what happened to them, and always make it a point that failure is a part of life, that not everyone can have the chance or the opportunity to get whatever they want, because life is not like that. So just be in reality, I mean, about life, because our kids are smart, so they would easily understand, isn't it, Teacher Kristine?
Mm. Well, one thing that I do to show my kids that failure is part of life is to show that mom, or as a teacher as well, sometimes gets it wrong. For example, um, sometimes going to school, I would forget a bag or an item. I would say, "Oh, it's okay. It happens. Mommy, mommy forgot this." So if the children had seen that, they would think that, "Oh, it's okay." More focused on what to do next rather than making a big deal out of it. And
Yeah.
another example for this is, when you see their grades,
Yes.
I'm also guilty with this.
Oh, here in Korea, we don't have grades actually. So,
Yeah, for me, when I see their grades, so if they don't get a high score, um it came from me.
yeah.
The I'll feel bad about it, and then I will tell them, "Oh, you don't know this. You don't know how come? Didn't your tutor study this with you?" And so on. So I kind of stopped doing that. I'm still trying, because the kids would see that I only notice them if they're failing. So again, going back to your first slide, it's focusing on their weakness rather than the strength. And then, of course, I tend to focus on the failure.
Yes. Okay. Well said, teacher. So that's it. So again, teach your child how to deal with failure. And of course, we have to encourage our children to be persistent to achieve their goals, or to be successful on their goals as well, because we're there to push them through positively, not negatively. So let us encourage them and push them positively, that at the end of the line, um, there's something waiting for them positively. Okay. So, guys, are you still there? Okay, the next slide is about choices, freedom. Okay, so give your child choices. It's important to let them feel that they have choices in life as young as they are. We may say that, oh, I'm the parent, I'm the mom, I know exactly what's the best for you, so listen to me. But on that stage, we're creating a negative behavior to our children if we will be dominant with a relationship. For example, as mother and daughter, if you would insist, what do you want? Because you're the mother, you know exactly what's the best for them. So at least give your child choices. Like, for example, my eldest, when she was in sixth grade, she asked me, Mom, can you buy me like a lip tint? I said, What? A lip tint? And I said, I didn't say no, but I said, Okay, but can you give me a time because I'm kind of busy that week? But I was really thinking the time why my child, sixth grade child, would ask me to buy for her a lip tint. Okay. And then I told her, okay, on the next weekend, let's go out together and let's find one for you if you really. But at the end of that, I did my research. I went, I observed in our neighborhood, in her school, what are the girls are doing, if girls are wearing lip tint. And there I found it. Everyone was into it.
Mm.
So I had to ask my child, why do you like to have that kind of thing? And she said, Mom, I just like to try it. Um, and if I wouldn't, I will be very different from others and I wouldn't like it. And I said all those consequences behind it. It's a long conversation between us. But still, I gave her the choice. If you really want it, okay, but don't wear it inside the school or inside the classroom.
Mm.
So it's always important to give your child choices. But it's also a matter of, communication between you and your children as well.
Mm. With that, Miss Kim, with giving your choices, if I can add on, in the preschool level, some parents kasi would ask me questions like, my child doesn't want to go to school today. Um, what choices can I give him or
Mm-hmm.
her? I ask why. What's the reason why your child doesn't want to go to school today? And then this parent said, because we can't decide what to wear. She wants to wear this. I want her to wear this one. So
Yeah.
with that kind of instance, it's great that if before going to bed at night, if they can limit the choices. For example,
Yes.
just three or two outfit for tomorrow, and that could make the mornings better. So some that kind of choices can also be.
Yes, that would be very fun. One time, my youngest, she loves Cinderella so much. And then one time on her preschool as well, she was telling, Mom, can I wear
Where
Cinderella
they,
dress?
uh,
And I said, why would you do that? Nothing. I just want to be a princess today. And I told her that you would look different because your classmates will be wearing just ordinary dress. But that is what I want. And I will just bring a pair to change if my classmate would would see it differently. And I said, okay, that's a good plan. Okay, you can wear. Okay. So guys, are you still there? So if you have questions, just type in with your comments and we will try to answer. Okay. So the next one is, okay. Allow your child to fit in school. Okay. So what can you share with this, teacher?
allow your child to fit in school. Oh, okay. Ako, if during the preschool level, it's different kasi they have more freedom. Uh,
Yes.
if they want, as what you have said, if they want to wear a princess clothing in school, if it's not a Montessori school, it's allowed. Some Montessori schools doesn't allow dress ups going to school because Montessori method doesn't really believe in
Mm-hmm.
fantasies. So it really depends on the school's policy. But
Uh,
with this one, generally, for me, what I do with my children is that I I would tell them that it's okay to be different.
yes,
Uh,
definitely.
you don't need, especially in Manila, you don't need to have fair skin. You don't need to
Mm-hmm.
have um, a straight hair because
Uh,
we came from Australia. We came back from Australia 2015, and then
okay.
my children my children would see a lot of commercials about having fair skin, and they
Mm-hmm.
sometimes ask me, "Mommy, am I not pretty or am I different because my skin is
Yes.
darker?" And then I would tell them that it's okay to be different. I
Mm.
also bought them a book. It's called forgot. It's one by Louise Hay. She's a positive thinker um, pro, and then she wrote books for children that sometimes if it helps if we phrase it more positively. For example, when they say, "Is my mommy, is my skin different, or is my hair different? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
or others' hair or skin is different?" I would it would be rephrased as, "I love my skin. I am happy the way I am."
Yes. Yes, I agree on that as well. We have to um, teach them or help them to be positive on negative situations. Are you still there? I think you hang, teacher. Are you still there? You hanged.
I got a mini heart attack.
Okay,
Sabi ko, "Oh God, Cheryl, am I gonna
it's
pretend that
fine. So it's part of the
am I
life.
gonna pretend that I'm so lost?"
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's
all
how
right.
you allow your child to fit in school. As what teacher said, there are rules in different institutions. Like for Montessori, they're not allowing to wear or to dress
Mm,
up differently. Am
mhm.
I correct? And
Yes, we don't encourage fantasies
yes,
in our school. However, with the toddler setting, it's different. We allow ludic play. That's how we call it. We have a place in our Montessori classroom that where clothes are hanged, and then
mhm,
they can dress up, but still like a real person. For example, a doctor,
yes.
firefighter, but not on a fantasy level.
Okay. Well, before we move on, let's just say hello to our viewers. Like, can you view them?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Miss
you can.
Miss Veronica Custodio are have joined us. Miss Loida Torres, Chari
Yes.
Perez from Isabela, and then Miss Michelle Olgasan, the owner of Menti Assorbenti, has a question. She is asking, in what way will you allow your child to fit in, and in what situations?
Okay. So I think we answered that. So, what way will you allow your child to fit in, and in what situations? Like
Mhm.
in school, we talked about in school, or for example, when it comes to their personality, as what you've said, it's okay to not have fair skin. It's okay to not have straight hair. So being there to explain to them positively, eventually they will be okay with it.
Mm, okay.
Okay, moving on for number four is allow your child to struggle a little. Okay, so it can be hard to resist the urge for us parents to help every opportunity that we have, because we would like to we would like them to succeed at all times, right? So sometimes you can't help helping them in every situations that they're in, but sometimes it's also nice if we let them um, deal with their own struggles as well. Like for me, I have, when my kids are still young, when they are still toddlers, they have like petty quarrels between siblings. And first, my first impression was to meddle up with them, and then to listen to every party and know who has the mistake, and like that. But eventually, I realized that it wasn't working, because sometimes I had to take sides on,
Mm,
on that.
yeah.
And sometimes I think it is okay if I would explain to them that next time you do this, it's, that it's wrong, and mommy will gonna have a heartbreak about it. But next time, I will not listen to you at all, because I've explained this already. You deal with this differently. But I've tried that, and I think it works well. They were able to patch up things within themselves, and they realized that, yeah, it's not a good thing for us to fight over toys. So
Mm,
yeah, sometimes you have to allow your children for that little struggles in life. But again, you have to make sure that you're there. You know what's happening, right,
mm.
teacher?
Yeah, yes, yes. With this one, struggling a little bit in the preschool or Montessori setting, um, we have this principle that if we overhelp the child, we're not doing them service.
Yes.
If they're trying, for example, if they're trying to do an activity and then we help them before they struggled a bit, they're really not helping. Either they are really not learning from that activity. Um, we have to strike a balance. For example, if we make the activity so difficult for them and that they would not be successful, it would create naman frustrations with them.
Yes,
So
they're gonna be
having said
frustrated.
that, they have to balance it. We have to balance it a bit and make the struggle just a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's definitely correct. And because you can assess during that activity or situation, whenever, okay, they are really struggling, and you can assess if they can't really solve or do it right, then you can meddle up in a way positively to solve that.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's how you allow your children to struggle a little.
Could
Yes, you have.
there's a question about the slide by Miss May Kalimlim. Could this also mean allowing your child to experience not just struggling a little, but also failure itself?
For me, my perspective on this, yes,
Mm-mm.
because failure is a part of life. No one's perfect. As
Mm-mm.
long as you explain to your child that not everyone's given the opportunity, for example, for getting something, or the like, because it's part of life. That's what life is. That's
Mm-mm.
what is life about. So we have to explain to them, and the reasons of their failures. There are You can review or get back on the procedures or the process that happened, or the situations that they've been into, and you can assess with your child why it happened, and you can talk with it. And then at the later point, you can encourage them to do better next time, because there's always a second chance. And as long as you can always encourage them to do better next time, something like that. Because as what I've said earlier, it's just a matter of communication between you and your children.
Mm-mm. It's a good one. And there's another question with how to deal with failure. What would you say to a child who just lost in a competition by Miss Loida Torres?
Oh, that's what my story when I was in second grade. Before joining the competition, I wasn't told that because I'm still young. I'm still young. I wasn't told that the winners were just gonna be three persons, first, second, and third. I
Mm-mm.
knew to myself that I exerted so much effort to practice, to rehearse, to dress up well, build up my costume and everything. So I was expecting that I'll be the winner. I wasn't
Mm-mm.
trained how to accept failure. Oh, mom. Hi, mom. Hi, Nana, if you're watching.
You should
But,
be very
it
proud of the
stuck to
person
my
that you.
mind that, I know I was, I was so heartbroken that time. But given the chance that it was explained to me that, hey, it's a competition and not everyone is given the chance to get the prizes, just do your best, exert much effort that you've in into and that would be great, we're going to be proud of it, but I wasn't told things like that before. So I think it would be better before allowing your children to join in a competition, explain to them how the competition works. Yes, their expectations, what can they expect about the competition, and the like. That's the reality of life, I think.
Okay. Okay, I think.
Okay, there's a question, teacher. On the
Um,
item, draw attention to your child.
yeah, draw attention to your child's strength. What do you think about giving praise to your child? Example, that's great, great job, thank you. By Miss Loida Torres.
Okay, so I think that would be on our next slides. Okay, we'll just answer that when we get there, the next slide, Miss Laida. Okay, so if we don't have question about struggles, let's move on to the next one, which is be reasonable in your praise. So this is connected to the question of Miss Loida.
Mm-mm.
Yes, so sometimes because we are parents or mothers, we are into that mentality to praise our children of what we're doing. But
Mm-mm.
we should be reminded that we should be reasonable enough. For example, um, my daughter, she can't dance well. So but she's learning how to do it. So um, unfortunately, she got it from me. So, but I couldn't just say that whenever she dances, I couldn't just say that, oh, you're so good in dancing, and you dances gracefully, because she's 9 years old and she knew for the fact that she can't do it well. She knows it very well with herself. So I could just say that, oh, you blended well in the music. Maybe you have to practice more on your coordination with your hands and your feet. But I couldn't just say right away that, oh, Anak, you did well in your performance. You're a great dancer, something like that. So you have to be reasonable. And for example, my youngest one, she just turned 7. She likes to draw, but she draws well, but not that perfect. But she can color well. She can make colorful wings of a butterfly. So I couldn't just say that, oh, you're good in drawing enough, but in fact, she can't. I can just say that, oh, anak, your butterfly wings is so colorful. There are, you can state the colors and something like that. So just be reasonable and be truthful with your praises with your children. They are smart and they can differentiate well what is true and not.
With that one, with the praises, because that's how we are trained in Australia to say, well done, and good job. All right. So for me as a teacher there, I would always tell my students, good job, well done, good
Mhm.
job. And then when I did a Montessori course here in Manila, and I dwelled uh, deeper into those phrases, it actually doesn't mean anything. So, like what you're
Yes.
saying, just focus on the activity itself. Just focus,
Yes.
just say something truthful on about what he or she is doing. Focus more on the strength. Just what
Yes.
you have said. If it's a butterfly, say something about the color of the butterfly, how the child drew the lines
Yes.
well, or how you liked it that it's a bit more curvy than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly like that, and just just say what is true on
Yes.
that observation, and the child will appreciate that. And if
Yes.
you,
Or
yes, and because good job and well done is actually doesn't mean anything.
yes, and it's just like a general phrase
Mm.
that we're so used into. And sometimes, like for example, in specialized schools here, we would just say, okay, good job, excellent. But
Mm.
where point the child is excellent with? At where
Mm.
point? So we should be specific enough and reasonable enough. Okay, if we have question. Okay, next slide is struggle a little. Okay, next one. Allow your child to overhear you complimenting them. So, what's your take on this, teacher?
I was just gonna say that it's something new to me. This is something that I haven't encountered in any of my trainings. So
Okay, I've
we're here you can.
heard this from one of my trainers when I was
Joanna,
training. Yeah, so allow your child to overhear you complimenting them. Like it. Sometimes she said that it's also okay for your child to listen that
Mm-mm.
you are complimenting her positive behaviors indirectly. Like for
Okay.
example, when you're with your phone with your mom, you can talk about what is your child's achievement at school. It would build up self-esteem with your child if she or he would hear you telling stories, true stories of course, about him or her to other person, because it builds up encouragement to them to do better. And it's always nice for them to know that their parents or their moms, their dad is
Everybody
aware,
here.
is aware of what they are into at school or whatever things they are doing.
Okay. This is my takeaway for this talk.
Mhm.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Oh, teacher, wait, we can't hear you.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, it's good now.
There's a question with Miss Loida. How can we show a child how to give compliment to another child?
Oh, okay. So this is about friendship, building friendship, relationship with peers, and the like. So as long as you build up positive behavior with your children, it is easier for them to share compliments with their peers, because it's an instinct for them already to recognize achievements with others. It can start, for example, if they have siblings at home, like if the other sibling did well on something, you can train them to give praises of the achievement, like for example of doing great in something, or doing great for example in household chores, because the training starts there. So if they are into it at home already, it is easier for them to deal with their peers, what on whatever situations they are into positively, like what did Miss Loida asked for, how to give compliments with peers. So I think it will come naturally as long as um, they are trained well, because it cannot be easily developed, especially because it is based on someone's behavior.
Mm. Ako for me, the best teacher is really by modeling. So if you model it to the children in preschool setting, or even if in a home setting, if you model how you can praise or
Yes.
compliment another child, perhaps the children on the receiving end
Yes.
could apply that.
Yes.
Complimenting meaning maybe I'll teach the child to focus on what makes the behavior, what makes the other child happy with the behavior of the other.
Mhm.
Thank you for that's very good, very nice of you to share. That's very nice of you to share this food with me, or that's very nice of you to help lend me a helping hand. So if I
Yes.
model that to the children, most likely the children would
And yes, and children, they can easily mimic what they see around. So
mm,
if the environment is positive enough, is like that, it is easier for them to deal on with their peers outside as well.
Miss Kim, there's another question from Miss Noreen Sandico.
Okay.
She's asking if what will you say about giving stamps to the children before going home? Some schools are doing this. I think it's part of the praise. The praise.
Yes. I, I I knew a lot of institutions here also are doing that for them to encourage the children to do better. And I
Mm.
think, what do you think of that,
For
teacher?
me, for me, part of positive, it's rewards and punishment. So there are a lot of ways on how we can deal with that. For me, I don't want to be a hypocrite and say that I haven't used it.
Yeah,
Um,
likewise.
part of my early teacher career is about bribery, and and part of my early motherhood times is also bribery. But what I can say is, if you have the behavior, if the child is exhibiting that behavior already, perhaps remove the stamps or the reward bit by bit. Diba? I think it's Pavlov's theory.
Mhm.
When I just kind of have forgotten about the theory, but I think they have a similar approach. So if you're giving the stamps for the child
To
cooperate
perform.
to cooperate with you. So if the child is cooperating already, then bit by bit, perhaps if you're giving stamps every day, so maybe give the stamps
Once a week.
every after few days, and then slowly
Okay.
diminish it to a once a week, and then up until the child is 8, because the child is most likely cooperating with you
After the
after a few days,
stamps. Yeah.
right? Yeah. uh, so that's my point of view, preschool view, and motherhood view. But with parenting my child, I did that to my eldest, my second. um Now that I'm a Montessori teacher, I like that they do it on their own, that they have self-regulation, that they don't need this outside things to for them to do their work. So I
Yes.
like a
And
balance.
yes, and sometimes they will do the initiative already if they would understand,
Mm,
the benefit of that particular task.
if
Mm.
yeah.
Like, for example, my daughter would ask their dad, "Dad, I need extra allowance. Would you allow me to do a part time job with you?" And their
Mm,
dad would answer, "Why would I give you part time job?"
mm,
Something like that. So it's still about explaining to them.
Mm-mm. But with the stamps, if I can go back to the stamps,
Yes.
it's a reward. It's not bad so long as you
Yeah.
are able to balance the use of it. But
And
overuse can be harmful because the child would get used to having a reward just for him or her to cooperate.
yes,
Mm-mm.
that's the thing out of the stamps.
Mm-mm.
And I think it's just fine to use it as long as you know your children's behavior very well. You know how
Mm-mm.
to manage them.
Mm-mm. Yes.
You can just let use it as what
Mm-mm.
you've said the whole time because it will develop negative behavior later on.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And then, okay, avoid comparing one child to another. So this is um,
Sorry.
very basic. Is that noise coming from me?
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. It's my
Okay. I thought it was from my phone because I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
monitoring the questions.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so avoid comparing one child to another. This is very basic. I think, yes, because it develop negative emotions to our children. They would feel not enough about themselves because you are comparing, for example, one sibling to another, and um, how would I say it? We wouldn't like them to develop that negative emotions in themselves. So we can always tell them that all people are individual. We have our strength and weaknesses, and how could I say? You can always tell them positively, but please not try to compare. Like teacher.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I'm just
Okay,
fixing
so
difficulties. Yes.
so do you have any experience on this about comparison?
Comparing what? Yes, I am.
I
As a
myself,
as a teacher, I try not to do that. I
yes,
this is one stage that I say one aspect that I can say that I don't do it to my students because if the students would hear me saying that to another student comparing them, then it it would most
create,
likely the mom or dads would call me. But as a parent, I'm still guilty with this, especially with my first two kids. Um, yung, if I can say it bluntly, I would say sometimes, "Oh, your ate didn't do this. How come your
yeah.
ate did that?" Yeah, those
But me,
things.
I
But
tried myself to stop.
yeah,
So my youngest, he was not able to experience comparing from, but my second,
yes,
I'm guilty also about it,
yes.
and I would say that
It's a process.
yeah, it's okay
Mm.
not to do it.
And if you do it today, for example, because learning is a process, right? So
Yes.
you do it today. You just tell yourself that it's okay. I'll be the best version of myself tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, for example, you didn't do it. You have to pat yourself at the back. Other people wouldn't notice it. They would always notice the weaknesses that you exhibited, but
Yes, of
you're telling
course.
yourself that you've been better. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for parents like us, um, it's also good to acknowledge that we're also not perfect, and then um, how we parent our children is also a product of how we are taught, and it's very difficult
Yes.
to teach that in one go. It's a process, and you have to forgive yourself. You have to be the best version of yourself every day. And my mantra would always be, um, it's do your best. your best is different. I would always tell this. Your best is different when you're sick. Your best is different when you're healthy. Your best is
Mm-hmm.
different when you're tired, but still, it's your best. So
Yes.
that's my take on that.
Okay, for your everyday.
Mm.
Okay. So, and also, yeah, I've done that once, but it was serious conversation between me and my eldest. I was able to compare her with her cousin. It was a
Mm-mm.
fault that stuck on my mind, and I didn't do that from that day on because she opened to me. We were on one date, and she told me, "Mom, please don't ever compare me because it hurts my feeling." And I
Mm-mm.
said, "Oh, I'm sorry for that. I'll try not to do it again." And from
Mm-mm.
that moment, I never did.
And sometimes we do it subconsciously. Sometimes we
Yeah,
don't know it that we're doing it up until
yeah,
our child tell us.
yeah. But I became conscious about it,
Mm-mm.
especially also with my classes.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, and
There's
then
a question. There's a question with Miss sent by Miss Loida. Some
okay.
children get some children get competitive in class. It can be anything: better writing skills, completing their work ahead of everyone else, wearing a beautiful dress, having the latest shoes in fashion. How can you diffuse the feeling of competitiveness in the wrong direction?
Positively, competitiveness.
It's
Okay,
for me.
okay. You
Preschool is this
first,
for
teacher.
preschool setting? For preschool setting, because it's for me it's easy because um, we can model it through our grace and courtesy lessons with Montessori.
Mm-hmm.
This is how grace and courtesy lessons have a very long list. So we teach them how to wipe their nose. We teach them
Mm-hmm.
how to wash their hands. We
Yes.
teach them how to ask for help. We teach
Mm-hmm.
them how to call the teacher when the teacher is busy. What will you do?
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps with this competitiveness, it can be tackled in the preschool setting by our grace and courtesy lessons. It can also be tackled in our small group lessons. Like we can
Mm-hmm.
read stories about um, just being the best version of yourself. I'll take note of this question, and perhaps on our page, I can suggest picture books that would help with this because children,
Oh, that's
diba,
cool.
children learn more
Yeah.
with
Yes.
when you tell them about a story, and then how to be the best version of yourself and not to compare yourself with others. So most likely with preschool setting, it's
Mm-hmm.
the small groups that we have in class, and grace and courtesy lessons. With my kids, being competitive, it's quite challenging because I have my second kid is innately competitive. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we try to diffuse it by, as what Miss Kim have said, not not comparing, try not to compare them. We enroll them in a school that doesn't have an
Yeah.
honor honors roll.
Honors. Yeah.
Honor,
Like here in Korea, all the schools, we don't have grades here. We don't have recognition or honor awards at the end of the school year.
mm-mm.
Just
I
to
like that. That's all.
yeah. And the sections here at school, I like that it doesn't equate to your standing in your section. Like it is like randomly.
Mm-mm.
Section one doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's not about section one or all bright students. So I like
Mm,
it.
It's also the same as what the schools of my daughters. We don't have that kind of ranking because I don't want them to feel that if because the ranking would depend if you're not good with math. For example, you're not good in math, your
Mhm.
ranking would be different, right? Uh,
Yes.
we have to accept that each children have their strengths and weaknesses. So, for
Yes.
example, me growing up, not very good in math, would think that I am not smart because I'm not in the cream section ba yun? Is it in the
Yeah,
cream
definitely.
section? But then again, after few years,
Yes.
I realized that hey, hang on, I'm actually smart. It's just so happened that I don't get it as fast as you guys,
Mm-hmm.
or the teacher is not teaching the way I am supposed to learn.
Yes.
So it's most likely going back to looking at our strength, and with so did we answer the question with competitive being competitive in class? So we
And
answered, and then
yes, and I just like to add on that. Like for example, to me, I'm dealing with around most of my clients or classes are like around fourth graders to sixth graders. So some of them are on their adult what should I say teenager stage, and most of them needs attention, especially in class. So I would also try to understand that kind of behavior, that they're trying to get teachers' attention sometimes. Teacher, I'm done, and like that. Or maybe they would like to show up with their classmates that they are bright, they're fast, and something like that. And I would agree with you that it can be developed um, through some lessons. And I would greatly appreciate if you could post that as what you've said on how to deal with that. Hi, teacher.
the assignment is done. I'll reserve that for the weekend.
Okay. And sometimes it's really hard if you, especially if those kids are controlling the class already
Mm.
because they wanted to show up. So you have to outsmart them as well positively sometimes as a teacher to manage your class. Okay, there is one question again. My daughter enjoys those stamps that it excites her to go to school. It's effective, especially for nursery kids like mine. Teacher, are you there? Okay, so teacher, I think, is hanged right now. And as what teacher Kristine told a while ago, that stamps or rewards are not bad at all as long as it create positive, as long as it creates positive behavior to your children. It is okay, but as what I've said before, you should be observant on the behavior that your children is showing while doing those reward thing. And we wouldn't, as parents, we wouldn't like our children to do things. Hi, teacher, welcome back. So as what I've said, as parents, we wouldn't like our children to cooperate or to do something just because of the reward. Also, teacher, I'm just answering the question posed by Miss Joy about
Mm-mm.
rewards.
Rewards. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to do it so long as, for me, I have two views about this as a parent and as a teacher. As a teacher, yes, it would ask, it would help me with cooperation, but in the long run, I would love the child to be self-regulated, to not have that extrinsic motivation
Yes.
from the stamp. We're
Mm-hmm.
not saying that it's bad. We love that your child enjoys receiving those stamps. But what I am saying is, for me as a teacher, I just want them to have that intrinsic motivation and not extrinsic. So I want the child to come to school, to be excited to go to school, not because of the stamps in the long run. Uh,
Yes.
Perhaps another teaching method, or it's you have to work with the teacher on how the child can be excited to go to school. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing is, yeah, it's really hard if they just look for that extrinsic motivation. For just for me as a teacher, it
Mm-hmm.
has to come from within. It has to be a self-regulation. Has to come from within. But if what I have said before, if the behavior that you want to for the child to exhibit is already happening, perhaps try to lessen the reward a bit, the stamps a bit. If you're gonna get it, if the child is getting it every day, maybe every other day, and then maybe lessen it to a week, and then maybe every 2 weeks, and then so long as she doesn't get used to having that kind of motivation in going to school. That's
Okay.
for teachers' point of view. For as a parent, I am guilty of that for my first two kids, but with my last two kids, hopefully, I did more of a self-regulation thing. These are the kids that I don't need to tell them what to do anymore. My other two, I would ask them, "Oh, Sophia, can you do this? Mommy will get you."
Yeah.
So,
But you know what? Honestly, on my side, whenever my kids did great in something, I give them rewards, honestly, but not like the stamp rewards that accumulates because they are up to something at the end of it.
mm,
Like, I like giving simple rewards to them, not when I say simple reward, it doesn't mean that I have to give them financial rewards or material rewards. Sometimes it's about service rewards, or I could extend watching TV time to 10 minutes, something like that, if they are really good at something. But I'm explaining to them, I have to explain to them why I am giving them rewards, for them to develop their behavior positively and not look after to the rewards that I'm giving. So it
mm,
rewards is not bad at all, as what Teacher Kristine told. It's also an encouraging um, point for parents to build up positive behavior. So we just need to be watchful of it on how to use it properly.
mm. Have to balance.
Yes,
Balance.
balance.
Mm.
That's right. And there's nothing wrong in giving rewards, I think. Right, teacher?
Mm. Yes.
As long as your child understands very well why are you giving reward,
Right.
you can just tell them what it is for. It's not about, or maybe because they did something great, or maybe you could just explain to them that you want your child to feel better, something like that. So you have to explain the reason why you are giving, not just giving a chart for them to fill in the stumps and later on receive something out of those
Mm.
stamps.
Or perhaps, yeah, like make the reward purposeful, no? Connected to the activity.
Yes, of course.
Mm.
So we can always be creative about it. Okay, so I guess we just have a few slides left. Okay, the next one is I like this one. Spend time alone with your child. This is my favorite slide actually. So, yes, it's always good to spend alone time with your child. Like for us, my husband and I have alone time with our kids, so we do one date together,
Mm.
and it's always fulfilling to see our child getting excited on our dates together, one on one. And one time, I was so surprised when one of my kids told me when we were in a cafe, told me na that, Mom, you know what? I've saved up for this date, and don't worry, I'll treat you out.
Yeah,
So
oh,
it
that's
was so
nice.
fulfilling to know that your child is looking forward for those special time with them, and they are preparing like they're gonna have a date with their special someone. So I was so really touched by that, and I said, oh, you don't have to do this, mom can do it. No, mommy, I saved us, I want to give you something. And I think it's a good thing to spend time with them individually.
Mm-mm.
Like teacher.
Yeah, yes, yes. It will give them undivided attention, especially with me.
Yes.
I have 4 kids, so it's really hard to do that. However, there's a trick with that.
Mhm.
Um, it doesn't have to be long. It can only be like 30 minutes to 20 minutes of your time.
Mm.
And then if the child gets older, and then the child would say, no, we didn't do this, we just spent a few minutes, or we just, you're in a hurry, it seems like you're in a hurry and all. And then what I would always highlight is that yes, we should spend time, and yes, I wouldn't say it's short, I would say, um, if you're having fun, time goes fast.
Yes. That's a good one, teacher. I would agree with that.
So because and then when you do this, try not to go to places that would make you spend so much, because it happened to me. So
Mhm.
my child would expect that we will go to sip and go, we would go to the archery thing that she loves to
Uh-huh.
go to. And in Manila, everything is paid. It's not
Mhm.
like in AU that we go to when we go to a library or we go to a playground, it's free.
It's free.
Free. It's
Yeah.
maybe same in Korea, but in
Yes.
Manila you have to practically pay for a lot of things. So when if I go to sip and go, that's 1,000 for my child, and then if
Mhm.
I pay at two, it's another 1,000. So it's two
Wow,
thousand
that's
for that
expensive
trip.
date.
Yes. And then my child would say, "Mommy, you don't want to paint?" And I will say, "Oh, I'm happy looking at you paint. Can you show mommy? Can you show mommy how you did that? Or can you just mommy will just mix the colors for you and all this." So be careful not to spend when you do this, because
Yes,
the child
definitely.
might expect.
And again, it should be a balance.
Mm,
Especially if it's like summer, the weather is good, you can always spend outdoor activities in the park
mm.
or some else. Well, kind of hard in Manila because maybe in the provinces you can do that. You can walk with your child. So you can always think of better ways to spend time with your kids without
What
spending.
I, what I do as well, hopefully BGC Fully Book is not watching. I go to BGC Fully Book. You can browse the
Yeah.
books.
Yes. Oh,
You
I
can read.
miss
Di ba
I
may
miss
Starbucks
full book.
there? So that's
Sometimes
what
I
we do.
spend a whole day in full.
Uh, so we just browse books and then pick up what
Yes.
we like, and then we go to Starbucks upstairs and then they read. Sometimes if they like the book, I would buy it for my child. But my eldest finishes books very fast. She finishes 4 books a day if you will allow her.
Wow. Wow.
Mm. It's kaya for me, if that's one of the tricks that I did. Look
Mhm.
for child friendly places that you don't have to spend so much, and
Yes.
then you
That's a good
can.
point, teacher. Especially
Mm,
nowadays. Okay,
mm.
so far so good. And last one. Again, be encouraging. We've talked this a lot of times in our previous slide. So just be encouraging to our children that they can do it.
Mm, mm.
Okay,
And
so if you
for
guys,
me, always lang. For us parents, a lot of parents now are really worried on how to raise their kids. I'm actually always with my kids, especially I have a lot of kids.
mhm,
So, basta always do your best. Every day is different. Such a cliche pero we have to remind ourselves na we're not perfect. So we make mistakes, and then next day is another day. Our best is different every day, but it's our best. So nothing more, nothing less, it's our best.
okay, there's a comment from Miss Noreen Sandico. She said spending time alone with your child is good because you will get to know your child more, especially when they grow to be teenagers. They will be more open and honest to you. Yes.
Mm,
I've proven that with my high schooler. She's open with me about many things, and I'm so thankful about it. That time I've invested in her when she
mm,
was young is worth it enough because it
mm,
helped us build our relationship as a mother daughter.
mm. Wow.
Okay,
I
so
hope I can say that to my daughter.
yeah.
Teacher Noreen is a teacher of my third kid.
Hi, teacher Noreen.
Mm,
Okay, and for last, so from me, there are countless opportunities to help your child feel better or worse. So just choose to be proactive about it because sometimes it can make our children feel worse because of our behaviors as well without us knowing it. So just be careful about it and choose to be proactive. That's my advice. Okay, so
That's
teacher,
the
if
last
you want to
slide.
add,
That's the last slide, Charlene.
yes,
Okay. So thank you everyone for watching today's live broadcast.
yes.
If you want to see more of Miss Kim,
Okay,
she
I'll
has
post this
yeah,
one.
you promote and
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
if you have further questions and inquiries about our programs, workshops, seminars, speaking invitations, so you can just reach us at sherlyn@mollymanners.com. Or you can, for other contents, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, FB, sherlynkim. And also, Miss Christine's school.
Yes. You can follow our social media handles for updates if we will have another session with Miss Kim. So under Molly Manners.
Or I'm fine with Macquarie. So if you are still interested to have another event like this, let us know what you're interested for us to discuss with you with, so that we can be prepared, and just let us know through comments here.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Thank
teacher.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.